Hey, welcome to Workout Wednesday. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We are pumped up and ready to maximize this day and talk about some things that you can use and apply immediately in your dealerships. So we are happy that you're joining us. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so. Subscribe to that. Also, if you are not a current Auto Dealer University dealer, then we want to go ahead and invite you to allow us to use our training platform on our dime. Use it for free for 30 days. I want to give you a free test drive and let you prove it before you pay for it. You know, that's the truth. And we really want to make sure that when we provide our training, and this is the cool thing about our training platform, first and foremost, we have about 35, 36, 37, 38, maybe close to 40 training contributors inside the university. And we have everybody speaking from all areas of expertise and experience levels, from dealer principals, general managers, owners of auto groups, multiple dealerships, sales managers, sales directors, finance managers, finance directors, service directors, service trainers, internet BDC directors, people who maximize and utilize phone skills, closing skills, CRM, everything in between. I mean, we have everything for everyone in all areas of the dealership, and we want to provide you an opportunity to be a part of what we do if you're not already a part of it. So check it out. You can contact me. You can call me directly at 813-463-4015, 813-463-4015. And then I'll get the rep that's in your territory to contact you. And then we'll go ahead and give you 30 days of free access. We'll give you a quick run through and show you what it looks like. And then we'll give you and your entire dealership 30 days of free access. And then you can go ahead and prove it and make sure this thing has legs to stand up on its own, and it does. And then after that, here's the beauty. Then after that, you can go ahead and utilize it month to month with no out clause and no setup fee, and we'll take care of you. So just give us a shout if you're interested. And otherwise, for the rest of my Auto Dealer University students that are out there, thanks for jumping on here, and we're going to get into it today. We're talking about maximizing and sharpening our phone skills, because let's just face it, our phone skills is really a huge part of what sets us apart and makes us succeed in this business. Like I said before, one of the other trainings we did, I think it was 2 weeks ago or last week, I talked about the specific guy that I was speaking to who said to him the things that helped him succeed were mindset, and then he went and said phone skills, maximizing the phone. There's a bunch of other things in there too, but I'm going to just stop there at the phone skills because that's what we're talking about today. All right. So number one, phone skills. Sharpen your phone skills. First and foremost, before we do any of this about getting into the skill set of it, let's talk about the basics of phone handling. Number one, you need to know your phone system. All right. You need to figure out how your phone system works, know how it works, and then use it properly, because there's nothing more embarrassing and there's nothing more frustrating, especially if you're a customer calling somewhere and all of a sudden you get cut off or you get disconnected because somebody doesn't know how to use their phones. You call them and they want to transfer they need to transfer you to another department, or you get somewhere and you get placed on, this never-ending, transfer cycle, and you're like never able to get to anywhere because they don't know how to use their phones. So if you are in your dealership, learn your phones, know how to answer them, know how, with the proper greeting, of course, but know how to answer them, know how to put someone on hold if you have to, know how to put someone on mute if you need to, know how to go ahead and transfer the call or conference call or three-way or whatever it's called. You learn your phone system, know your phone system, and make sure you figure it out, because there's nothing worse than making a problem and missing an opportunity because you just don't know your phone system. All right. So we're going back to the basics first. Number one, know your phone system. Number two, answer the phone. All right. Pick up the phone. Too many times I sit there and watch salespeople watch the phone ring and they don't answer it. Or if there's like a sales call, You know, there's people just sitting around, and there's an available salesperson, line 101, and everybody's just sitting around. Or you have somebody who they're just, you know, overran, and one person's answering the phones, and all these other phone calls are coming through, but they're being missed. You know, this is one thing I want to make sure you guys, if you're a manager, this is something you should always look at, and that is measure how many missed phone calls are coming through your store on a daily basis, and what's the time frames that those calls are being missed. Because if you don't know what the phone volume looks like in your store at certain times that you have, you know, your phones are blowing up in the morning, or if there are a lot of sales calls, or if it's a lot of service calls coming through and making it their way into the sales department, there needs to be a way to see what's being answered, what's not being answered, and look at the total unanswereds per day. You should measure the non-answered phone calls and see how many calls that you're missing on a daily basis, and then figure out a way that you can fix it. If it's a matter of having one more person cover and answer the phones during that time, if it's a matter of creating and finding a phone system that allows you to separate service calls from sales calls and so on and so forth, you know, you just got to figure it out. But you can't be missing sales calls. You can't be missing phone calls, because who knows, it could be opportunities. It could be, and here's what happens when we miss a phone call. When we miss a phone call and we're trying, you know, someone's trying to call your business, this is what happens. They indirectly, what we're saying to them is that we're too busy to answer the phone, so therefore you're going to have to wait. It's terrible as a customer trying to get in touch with somebody at the business, and you hit automation. You know, all of a sudden it's automation world. If you're calling from a touch tone phone, first of all, if you have a phone system that says if you're calling from a touch tone phone, you need a new phone provider, because everything's touch tone. I mean, you know, these rotary phones don't even exist anymore. But the next thing is if you're a new customer, press 1. If you're an existing customer, press 2. If you speak English, press 1. If you speak Spanish, press 2. If you do this, if you do that, you're going through all these hoops, and then eventually, you're on the customer wants to, again, just get a live person on the phone. They just want to talk to somebody. So what do people do all of a sudden when they start hearing the automation calls? They start hitting 0, 0, 0, 0. They're just trying to get through to somebody quick, right? Hit 0, hit 0, hit 0. And then what's even worse is when you hit 0 and then it says, that is not an option. And then you're like, got to listen now for 1, 2, 3. Next thing you know, you're all the way to 9, and you're like, it doesn't even cover what I'm asking. So you want a live person. So I would look at making sure that the phones are answered, and do everything you possibly can to make sure that people are answering the phones, okay? And make sure that you're measuring those answered and missed and those unanswered phone calls, because if you find that a lot of calls are going unanswered, you might need to, again, hire someone else, figure out a new system, but maximize those opportunities, because the other thing too is also, as the person answering the phone, again, going back to the basics, you need to know the extensions of people. You need to know if people are even still working there or not. You know, there's nothing worse than answering the phone call or having somebody answer the phone call, and then they're like, oh, okay, let me just check real quick. Hey, what's so-and-so's extension? Really? Know the extensions. Have an extension list, an internal phone list that's close by. Know how to use the phone. If what's so-and-so's extension again? Oh, okay. Oh, he's not here anymore. Oh, I'm so sorry. He's not with us any longer. No, look, we need to know how to know who's there, know recent terminations, losses, additions to the team, all these little things that may sound so stupid and silly, but they affect the entire, tone of the call and the professionalism of the call. You know, if you are calling a place, you want to feel like that you're speaking to professionals and that they know what's going on and they know how to handle everything, right? You want to be able to have a great experience and make sure that they're going to handle just a simple phone call properly. And if you're not getting handled properly on the phone call, this is what people think. I think like this all the time. If I'm getting tossed around, from one person to the next on the phone and nobody's handling it with professionalism. I was just speaking to somebody else just recently about a customer service experience that they had. It wasn't with a car dealership, but they called this particular company and they said that everybody they talked to was completely rude. And it sounded like that the person, every person they talked to, it sounded like that they were bothering them. Like, I'm calling you, your company, and you make me feel like I'm bothering you. Like I'm interrupting you in what you're doing. Like I'm a nuisance to you right now. When in reality, if it wasn't for me, the customer, you wouldn't have a job. Your job exists because I'm a customer, and we need to make sure we take care of the customer in the right way so we can maximize the opportunity to service them, provide a sales opportunity to them, and give them a great customer experience, okay? So again, we need to make sure we know how to answer the phones properly, or just answer the phones in general, and also know how to use the phones properly before we do anything with trying to create a sale or an opportunity from the phone, inbound phone call. So let's go to another thing. We need to also now, number 3, pay attention to our tone, the tonality of our voice when we're speaking, okay? If we sound like we're, hello, thank you for calling ABC Toyota, this is Joe, how can I help you? We sound like we're 3 seconds away from suicide. We shouldn't be answering the phone. If we sound like that, we hate our life, our life sucks, our job sucks, our marriage sucks, our relationship with our kids suck, everything sucks, and it sounds like that's exactly what they're getting when they call. We don't want to be letting that person answer the phone. Fix the tonality, all right? Bring energy to the phone, especially because every single time you answer that phone call, it's tied to a transaction one way or another. If it's a service transaction, if it's a sales transaction, a customer service responsibility that you're speaking to a customer, eventually long term turns into another transaction of repeat business or referral business. Utilize and maximize your tonality on the phone for positivity, something that brings a good result. Energy transference. You're transferring energy every single time you're on the phone with somebody. Okay? So bring the heat, bring the tonality, make sure you have a very high energy when you're on the phone so that you can make sure that people want to experience what you're going to talk to them about. All right? So pay attention to your tone. Unlike chat, where word choice and punctuation imply tone, phone calls actually rely on the inflection of your voice, okay? How you say what you say and the words you use to say what you say make a difference. It makes a huge difference, all right? So become professional in your tonality and the words you use and how you articulate them. I've said this many times, we forget, especially in the car business, that even though we may not be a carpenter or a construction worker, we also have tools to work with every single day when we answer the phone and when we work with our customers. And those tools many times are just the words we use, okay, and how we use the words we use. And so we may not have hammers and saws and specific, wrenches and screwdrivers and different things like that, but we have our words. We have the tones of our words. We have the inflection of our voice and everything we say. And so if that's the case, then how do we use it, the tools we have to maximize them to become a master with our words, okay? A master carpenter. There's carpenters, and then there's master carpenters. There's people who do handy jobs or handiwork, right? And they do like they're handy and they go, do these little jobs around, and they do maybe like they'll fix like a hole in the wall, or they'll do this, and maybe they'll go ahead and like patch, something, and they like paint and little, things like that, like a handyman. But all of a sudden then there's the master carpenter who can do custom, woodworking and crafting and all the different things. And with a hammer and a saw that the same handyman has, a master carpenter can create an amazing creation. And it's the same thing. We all have access to the same vocabulary and to the same, wellspring of words to use every single day. But what are we doing with the words? Are we articulating them and connecting them and making them, sound great in the way that we use them and the tonality that we present them with and the inflection of our voice and how we go ahead and maximize the opportunity? What are we doing with it? Let's become a master carpenter when it comes to what we use our words for, all right? Again, pay attention to how your tone sounds on the other side of the phone and your word choice, okay? Because it all affects the experience of the customer on the other end. And one way to do this is to listen first to how the person on the other end of the phone sounds when they speak. And we can mirror, we talked about this before, we can then mirror their excitement, or if they sound like they're upset or mad, we can then take a more concerned tone, right? Customer, just you answered the phone. Thank you for calling ABC Toyota. This is Joe. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today? Listen, I need to speak to a manager now. Okay. At that point, I've seen where some people have gone sideways. Listen, sir, you don't need to talk to me like that. Sir, calm down, sir. And they start talking to the customer like that. That's not what I'm talking about, because you start doing that, and now all of a sudden they're going to it's like throwing gasoline on a fire, all right? If they're seeming upset and they're mad, bring that concerned tone. Absolutely, sir, not a problem. We can definitely help you out. Now, just to make sure I get you to the right manager, Are you looking to speak to someone regarding sales or service? And again, you take that concerned tone. You want to be water on fire to help put that fire out, not gasoline. All right. You want to throw the right liquid on top of it and make sure that you're getting the best response. So again, utilize that tone in the way that the customer sounds. If they're upset, if they're mad or whatever, mirror that. Okay. The other thing too is make sure that we measure the quality of our calls on a consistent basis. In other words, have a performance review. Look at and listen to, if you're in management, or even if you're not in management, if you're in sales and you're in there and you speak to people on the phone all the time, listen to yourself on the phone. And we do this with our team here. We let these guys listen to each other, and we also let them listen to themselves, where they can go ahead and listen to how they handled that call, how they sounded when they talked to that customer. And they'll get the best many times coaching from that phone call of just listening to themselves and listening to how the customer responded when it comes to that particular situation. And then they could even use it as a coaching moment. Well, and many times I've even watched them even say it themselves, where they would go, man, I should have said this instead now that I'm listening to this again. And I'm going to keep that in mind. Next time a customer brings something up like that, I'm going to go ahead and bring that up as well. And I'm going to handle it differently. So have a within the store there, or within your dealership, have something in place where you can measure the quality of the call by performance reviews and by listening to the calls. This is something that I used to do a lot. I would listen to calls every single week when it came to my BDC or salespeople, and we would listen to the calls, not just so we can blast them and embarrass them. Hey guys, we're gonna have a sales meeting real quick. I'm gonna listen to this phone call here. Let everybody listen to how bad you did. Now, I'm not looking to go ahead and embarrass someone and hurt them. I'm looking to utilize the situation to create a coaching moment and to provide them with better ways of handling that particular call, handling that particular situation, okay? In the performance review, or in the call, when you're doing the listening to the calls, you want to look for certain things, when they greet the customer, how they say hello, the energy level that they're saying it. Does it sound like we said, they're about 3 seconds away from committing suicide or doing something bad to themselves because they hate their life, and it's very, very evident on the phone? Or does it sound like they're slouched down in their chair and they're like sliding down underneath their desk because they're falling asleep? Does it sound like that? You got to make sure that you're looking for the right things. How are they doing with building rapport? if a customer provides a certain, something that's, a nugget or a clue or a tip for them to know how to be able to take it to the next step, are they paying attention to those tips and clues? Are they responding to them properly? Are they asking the right question after that as a follow-up question? Are they transitioning properly? Are they identifying their interest points and what's important to the customer? Or are they just going and going right for immediately? Oh, yeah, we can definitely help you. When can you come in? When can you come in? When can you come in? Come on, come in. Get them in. If that's the focus, man, I mean, we're missing it. We're totally missing it. Okay, we have to build rapport. We have to basically, in the same way that we have a meet and greet and when the road to the sale on the lot, we have the same steps pretty much happening on the phone. We just got to figure out how to maximize those opportunities, turn those opportunities into the ability to create a road to the appointment and sell the appointment and get them through the door eventually, and then have them, come in for a next step of transition so they can eventually purchase a vehicle. And so, I get it. Many times you're going to have the opportunity. You can possibly sell a car over the phone multiple times, especially we've done it, especially now within COVID and all the things that were happening with the pandemic that we went through. Yes, we've been able to streamline the buying experience where we can do it more easily online. We can do it more easily over the phone. We can do a lot more where it's, outside of the dealership. But at the end of the day, we still want to bring people in the door. We still have a very large bill we pay when it comes to our rent and facility and electric and everything that's there in our brick and mortar, that we still have to bring customers through the door, right? So we want to maximize those opportunities. So measure the quality of the calls. Listen to what your people are saying and not saying, and help them. Okay. Help keep them accountable. All right. Again, when you start, here's the thing you're going to notice. When you start listening to these calls, you're going to, sometimes you might get upset, and you might also get like, what is going on? I can't believe they just said that. I can't believe they just did that. I can't believe that. Or they put that person on hold. That person was on hold for 2 minutes, for a minute. Listen, it may sound like it's not a long time, but when you're on hold and you put someone on hold, man, that feels like forever. I mean, you need to be doing, like, if you're putting someone on hold for 15 seconds, 20, 30 seconds, you need to check, get back on. Okay, hey, real quick, I just wanted to get back on real quick. I'm still with you here. I'm getting you an answer. I'm so sorry for the delay. Give me 1 second here. I'm almost there. And then if you put them on hold again, that's fine. But make sure you're keeping them in the know, and you're not keeping people on hold for a long, long, long time. Or again, if somebody needs to get put on hold, make sure you put them on hold before you start saying something, okay? I know that, I've heard and seen it go sideways where the customer's answering or saying something to the person who answers the phone, and then the salesperson or the rep, the BDC rep or someone, all of a sudden goes to put them on hold. As they're putting them on hold, they're saying, this customer, I can't even understand what the heck they're saying. What the heck? They're so rude. And then they put them on hold. And it's heard. The customer heard them. I've seen it happen where they said something, or they tried to whisper something, or they forgot to put the customer on hold, or they weren't on hold yet, and they made a comment, and it just backfired and even cost people their jobs because they are not paying attention to the details. Okay. And these are the areas where we need to make sure that we take care of. These are basics. Okay. So never talk about your customers in a negative way ever out loud, because you don't know, there's ears everywhere. There could be a customer that's, listening, and some people got dog sense ears, they can hear things from miles away. And plus, not only that, there's videos. Ears are everywhere. Videos and eyes are everywhere. It can seriously hurt your business if somebody just decides to go like this. Oh yeah, you see them they're saying over there, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're videoing without you even realizing it. I can swear, this past summer, I can swear there was somebody was videoing me while I was throwing my kid up in the pool, like they were going to go ahead and tell the HOA or something. And I can swear they were videoing me. It looked like they were holding their camera videoing, so I waved to them. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you what, it seems like, there's somebody looking, somebody listening, no matter what. So never badmouth your customers anywhere, okay, at work, okay, in a negative way. Secondly, if you can prevent people from being put on hold in the first place, man, do everything you can to answer their questions immediately. That's the best option always, is make sure you can get them an answer right there while you're on the phone with them. And then even say, look, if you don't know the answer, you can find out while they're on the phone with you, or you can make sure that, you're going to get them that answer. But before you go ahead and do that, and then put them on hold, and then they come back, and then they ask another question that you don't know, and then put them on hold. And no, before you do that, let's just get it all out there. Okay, look, I understand that you may have some questions, so I'll get you an answer for that for sure. Was there anything else that was interesting to you, or anything else that was particularly, that you'd like to see happen or whatnot? So these are little things, okay, that you need to make sure that you do to handle. These are the basics. Now, here's another thing I want to make sure you do. When you're talking to a customer, it's all about the meet and greet, section of the road to the sale, so to speak. Like when you're talking to a customer online, you're reaching out, or on the lot, you're reaching out your hand, you're saying, hello, welcome to so-and-so, my name is, and you are, or however your greeting is. Well, you have a greeting on the phone too, okay? So here's a couple of different ways you can do the greeting. Now, number one is your most common. Thank you for calling ABC Toyota. This is Joe. How can I help you? That's the number one thing. I hear a lot of dealers that do that. Okay, let's add one thing that's a little bit better, and I think it's a little bit better because now what it does is it tackles two things. Thank you for calling ABC Toyota. This is Joe, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? Again, thank you for calling ABC Toyota. This is Joe. Excuse me. Thank you for calling ABC Toyota. This is Joe. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? I'm going right after getting the information right in the very start. The reason why I do that is because our goal is to always collect contact information, name, phone number, email. We always try to get that when we're on the phone, right? So again, thank you for calling ABC Toyota. This is Joe. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? Oh, this is John. Okay, great, John. Thank you so much for calling. I look forward to helping you out here. In case we get cut off here, I see your phone number as this on the caller ID, because most dealerships have caller ID. If we get cut off here, just want to verify this is the correct number here. This is your cell phone, correct? Yes. Okay, great. Also, I'm going to make sure that by the end of this call, whatever we discuss here when it comes to the vehicle of choice, I'm going to send to you in writing through text message. And the reason why I do that is because I don't ever want there to be a mistake of what I say and what you hear. So I'm going to make sure that anything we send out will be sent to you in writing, and it will also be sent out through text and also through email. What's the best email? Before I even and what am I doing here? I'm collecting and I'm gathering contact information. And now not only am I gathering the contact information, I'm getting that out of the way so that now we can go through everything we need to help the customer. Okay. Once they give that to you, I mean, if they push back, they push back. But once they give that to you, now you can go ahead and start talking about what it is that you can help them with. Okay. So I see that again, this is the phone number here. This is your cell phone. I would take it, correct? Yes. Okay, great. I'm going to text you a link to the car and everything of the vehicle of choice at the end of this conversation. And then, so everything you have is in writing and we're transparent. And with that, I'm also going to go ahead and just send it to you through email as well. Now, with that being said, how can I help you have the best car buying experience here? Or however, you can say it like, well, how can I help you out? Or what was it that you were interested in? What vehicle were you interested in? Or what specific, answers can I provide to you today? What is it? And again, you're taking this now down the road of you're controlling the conversation. First of all, you're controlling the conversation, and you're now not just, again, being an information giver, but you're helping control the conversation and take them down the road and the path that you know that they need to go down to get them to a place where you can eventually bring them all the way through the doors into the dealership. So, for example, let's go back to the beginning. Thank you for calling ABC Toyota. This is Joe, and whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with? Oh, this is my name is John. Okay, John, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate the opportunity to help you out. I see the phone number here on the caller ID. Excuse me, I'm getting this thing in my throat. Man. Thank you for calling again. I see the phone number on the caller ID as this. I would take that's your cell phone, correct? Yes. In case the call drops, I want to also make sure that I have that. But also, I'm going to text you everything we discuss here in writing, because I don't ever want there to be something that happens that when I say something, you hear something else. So I'm going to make sure that everything that we go through is in writing so that there's no mistake and that, everything is clear and transparent. Make sense? Yes, totally. Also, we're going to email it to you too. What's the best email to send it to you? Oh, it's joe@gmail.com or john@gmail.com. Okay, great, John. Well, thank you so much. Well, now that I got that out of the way here, how can I help you have the best car buying experience? What can I do to help you out? Well, I was just looking at your vehicle here. I saw that you had a 2015 Toyota Camry available and just wanted to see if it's available. Oh, okay, great. Let me just go ahead and check on the availability with that. I'm going to take a look at that just as we're on the phone here. And what was it about that vehicle that drew you to it? Okay, now I'm going to let John tell me about what's important to him on vehicle selection. Why am I going to do that? I'm doing that because when I know what is important to him, then I also know now if that vehicle isn't available, or even if it is, I'm going to look for other vehicles that have those things that are important to him. Because I also know that everybody that comes into the dealership doesn't always buy exactly what they came in on. Many times, majority of the times, they buy something completely different. So, okay, great. So it looks like we have that vehicle. It looks like it is available and it is in our inventory right now. And you said that low miles was what was important to you, and that was why, and that was what drew you to the vehicle. What else was important to you when it comes to deciding on which vehicle you choose? Well, I'm looking also at the price. That's a great price. Oh, so you're trying to be in that range of $10,000 to $15,000 or $10,000 to $12,000 range. And were you looking to pay cash for the vehicle, or are you going to be financing the vehicle? Well, I'm trying to keep my payment at around like $400 a month. Perfect. Great. Oh, that's awesome. As a matter of fact, let me ask you this quick question here, John. If I had another vehicle in my inventory with similar miles as this, because again, that's important, and also in the same price range, because that's also important, and maybe possibly even less in total price, that possibly fit all of the things that were most important to you, would that be okay too if we showed you some options there as well? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Okay, great. Looks like we have about 4 or 5 vehicles in our inventory that may fit that besides the one that you already have interest in. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually send you some information on this one that I have here, but also I'd love for you to come down and take a look at it and just tell you a little bit about also what we provide here, because you said you're looking to finance. We have special rates available right now as well. And we also have some down payment assistance and so on and so forth. You talk about the incentives. You talk about the value of doing business with us. We've also been in our area here for 35 years. As a particular, whatever the name, ABC Toyota customer, we have a value package that comes with this as well. And I'd like to also just make you aware of that. Now, with that being said here, I'd love for you to go ahead and come on in and take a look at the vehicle, take it for a ride, drive it, taste it, smell it, touch it, do whatever you need to do in order for you to be able to make sure it's the right vehicle. So I have some availability later on this afternoon or this evening. What's best for you? And then you're taking them down the road and you're providing them with the confidence they need to know, because this is what they want. They want to know as a customer that you're going to take care of what's important to them, and you're going to handle them right, and you're going to handle them properly. Okay. And so by giving them all of these answers, by being transparent, by providing them with all this knowledge, you're providing confidence. And confidence then is what creates a feeling within them that, again, that transference of energy, that transference of confidence now creates that within them and makes them say, okay, I'll come in at the evening's better for me. Okay, cool. I have a 4:45 or a 6:15. What's best for you? 6:15 actually, because I get home at 5:30. I'm going to have dinner, and then I should be there. I have 10 minutes away. I'll just eat something real quick, and I'll be over at 6:15. Awesome. Now, when you come, we can have one of 2 different drinks available for you. Would you prefer a Starbucks, or would you prefer a Dunkin' Donuts coffee or a drink from there? I'll have one for you or for anybody in your family. How do you like your coffee? What do you want? And it'll be ready for you. Again, provide them with something to create something that commits them to coming and then showing on that appointment, besides the fact that they said they're going to come. Because you know as well as I know that many times people just say they're coming just to get you off the phone, or they say that they're coming, whatever it is. But if you provide that, I think they're going to be a little bit more serious, because they know that you're going to go out and get that and have that waiting for them. Okay. So again, these are just some skills to look for, to sharpen up, so we can maximize our phone calls, and we can create the best result of those phone calls as well. So again, phone skills that'll help you create more sales and also get a better return on your time on the phone as well. Again, just to go through it as a few different things. Answer the phone. Okay, make sure you answer it. Also, know how to use your phone. Also, pay attention to your tone, the tonality. Measure the calls. Listen to the calls. Okay, make sure you put people on hold. And again, maximize the opportunity through how we go ahead and gather the information in the beginning of the call like that, ask the right questions, and help take that customer down the road to the appointment on the phone. By doing this, it's going to help you sell more cars more often and more profitably. All right, guys, thanks for joining us this Workout Wednesday, and we look forward to seeing you next week as well. Have a great day.